us. Lindsay's got held up on another call, so you're stuck with me and she'll catch up with us in a bit later. So apologies again for the delay. Let's see who we've got here. Hi, Claire. How are you? Hope you got home safely. Claire was on our Aberdeen workshop at last weekend. Good to see you. Hi, Pia. Hi, everyone. Good to see you. I'm so ready for this. Yes, it seems to have been a while, doesn't it? We've been on the road. I got home at lunchtime today after a mammoth journey. Hi, Marianne. Hi, me. I don't think you've been on one of our calls before. I wonder if you're from YouTube or the Phoenix group or both. Hi, Five Wilds. Morning all. Happy 100th life. Thank you very much. Hopefully Lindsay will be here in a minute. Hi, Sparrow. Hello et bonjour. Happy 100th life. Thank you very much. I can't believe we've done 100. That's quite a milestone, isn't it? Yes, 100. Oh, it's your first. Oh, wow. Welcome. Hope you enjoy it. Oh, Claire, it's your first too. Oh, well done. We got a few Phoenix Way virgins, have we? Sparrow. Welcome, Marianne, from another Marianne. Awesome. Welcome, Claire. Hi, Angie.
Hello.
Hello. I've only actually just started, Linz, because I was sat here like Piffy on a rock band and I didn't see Asha's message about 5 minutes ago. So everybody's been waiting.
So sorry.
Started.
Oh my God. I was on a call with my Cobbs, the Cobbs group, because we had a clash. Apologies. Oh,
Doesn't
it look different?
It looks different, doesn't it? It's really quite exciting. And there's people that are on their firsts. We have some virgins, Linz.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm going to turn you up because I can't hear you. Where are we? With Angie. Oh, look at the hand. I love it. Teresa's here.
Hi, Therese.
Hello. Do you have to actually be logged in to view it on YouTube, or can anybody view it?
No idea.
Alison's good evening, new. Everyone. 100th. Medal, yellow, first, red. I don't understand that. Brilliant. We don't understand that. Laura's here. Hi, everyone. Hey, everyone. Oh, I see. Hello. Oh, I think that is just written that. I got it.
Oh.
Hello, Laura. Vivian's here. Oh, Xenia. I never knew what your middle name was. I know now. Hello, everyone from Germany.
I think it's also because because it's going through YouTube, everybody's name has changed. So we've got to learn all their new names.
Catherine Brown's here. Hello, Catherine. Sarah's here. Hi, everyone. It's Sarah Lou. Janet Welsh is here. Hi from Spain. Heather's here. Hello, all. Erin's here. Hello, Erin. Good afternoon from Ohio. Sparrow. Afternoon from snowy and icy northern Alberta.
But Sparrow's name is Marianne.
Oh. Hello, Marianne. Vivian says, Lindsay and Gary, could you please discuss the hoof cases of Indra Albrecht and Issy Bailey? Both of them posted today with all necessary hoof pictures information. Definitely. And I'd seen Izzy's, and so definitely we're going to have a look at that. Thank you, Vivian. Fiona says, hello from less snowy and icy, but still cold southern Alberta. Oh, it's two of you.
Oh, two from Canada. Lovely.
Two from Canada. Catherine Arndell, good morning from Australia. Happy 100 live. Thank you. Gosh, 100. How did we do that, Gary?
I have
and
no
how
idea.
Did you lot tune in? You poor things.
Well, I'm surprised that they're all still here, actually.
Hello from Wisconsin. I've been going through live withdrawals. Have you? I'm so sorry. But, we struggle to try and fit everything in, but we're back. I'm back in my office. Gary's back in his office. So we have got calls this week, but we will try and fit it in where we can. Izzy's here. Izzy, yes, I'm here, Vivian. So hoping Bindi, my mare, will be discussed. We will, definitely. I've had a little look. It always comes too early for me, Fiona. Hello. What, the snow, I'm reckoning.
Hi,
Hello,
Shannon.
says Shannon. Hello, Shannon. Good morning, everyone from Australia, says Vicky. Good morning. I'm so pleased that you're all able to come over to YouTube and be on YouTube. It's very exciting. Good afternoon from Southern Alberta. Got our first snow this week, but the moisture was great for some dried out feet, says Lisa Charles. So, gosh, lots of people from Alberta. Vivian says, okay, wants to bet that they will start. I say 8:21. Right. I think you were right.
I think it was probably a little bit earlier.
Everybody guessing.
Not by much.
Fiona says, I'm not ready for winter, but somehow at least when there's the snow, it makes the cold more bearable. I love snow, but probably when you can get sick of it. Angela's here. Hello, bonsoir from southern France. Maggie's here. Hello, Maggie. Jenny Cox is here. Good morning from Australia. Lydia, is the live on yet? It is now. Vivian, still no reaction. Oh, sorry. Hey, says Heidi Watkins. I love that little avatar. It's from Madagascar, isn't it? I think. Aston's here. Hi, Gary. She says, yeah. Oh, look, they've got different avatars. That smiley face. It's so sweet. Silver Lining Stables. Hello, Silver Lining Stables. Good to see you. Claire says, home safe and sound, but lost gutter off back of house in storm. Ashley. Oh, God. It was great to meet you, Claire. Really was. And glad you're safe and sound. It's only a bit of guttering. Please, can we help Izzy? Yes, we're going to. We're definitely going to. Anne Stockinger's here. My second for me, she says. Good for you. And I'm glad you probably all left by now because we were so late. Wow, I'm high and hi from France, says Jeanette. Northern France. Bonsoir. Phew, found you. Hi, everyone from Portugal. Hello, Caroline. Hello. Yeah, this is fun, isn't it? On YouTube, it's great. Hello, says Fiona Reynolds. Montrose in Scotland. Yay. We've just been there. Well, not Montrose, but Scotland. No, Tammy Kellers, hello from Germany. Hello. I think it's Germany. Dawn Lim says, hi, everyone. Lovely to see you both again, Lindsay and Gary. Yes, we're here. Melanie Rosenbaz here. Hello. I found out how to participate. Yeah, I think that more people will be able to participate through YouTube. That's what I'm hoping. It's easier. Yeah, it's just going to be easier. First time Wiltshire, UK. Brilliant, Marianne. That's wonderful. Okay, should we jump in and have a look at Izzy's? I just got to make sure that I've got. Oh, would help if I actually had the page up and running. Hold on. Stay with me, callers. Share screen. Phoenix Way. Boom. We're in. Okay. Ooh, new member. So 10.1 thousand members. Just make you feel sick. 10.1 thousand members. Now, we have been away. Unfortunately for me and everybody else, we hit 10,000 just as we were leaving, and I caught me on the hop, and I wasn't ready with the merch. But the merch is now ready, and tomorrow it should be alive. What's the merch? Well, the merch is, let me just, hang on a minute. Let me just, I'm going to just stop for a second. I'm going to stop that, and I'm going to see if I can show you some merch pictures. Hold on a minute. I will show you some of the pictures. You might like this. I know I've shown you, I showed you before, didn't I? What we thought we were going to do, and then this is a definitive. So if you don't like it, well, what can I do about that? If you don't like it, you don't like it. Don't buy it if you don't like it. Here it is. Let me show. Oh, get off. Let me share. Come back. And there will be hoodies as well. but that's not on this picture. There you go. That's what it looks like. That's what we've got. So the tees, the t-shirts are going to have this stripe across the front, and it says 10K, and that middle 0 is the Phoenix Way. So I'll just show you. There it is. If I blow that up, there you go. It's not blowing up brilliantly, but that is the Phoenix Way. And on the back, you have two choices, and it's the same with the hoodies. You have either just, it says Phoenix Warriors. Oh, it's covering that up. Or on that one, so it's just simple, says Phoenix Warriors. And on this one over here, it says We Rise by Lifting Others, TPW. So those are the T's. You can get a mug, which is 10K on it. And you can get a cap, which also says 10K on it. And on the back of the cap, it's just got TPW written in white on the back of the cap. So that's the merch, and it's coming out, and we're going to leave that. I don't know. We're going to leave it. How long are we going to give it up? A week, 10 days? What did I say? I think we said 10 for 10, didn't we?
10 for 10.
10 for 10. And the hoodies are slightly different. You've got like a Phoenix Way badge with 10K written on it here, and then you've either got the We Rise by Lifting Others, or the Phoenix Warriors on the back. And we gave it, I had to use both because some wanted Phoenix Warriors and some didn't want Phoenix Warriors written on their tee or their jumper. They just wanted We Rise or something like that. So I did it for both of those people, both types of person. The one that says, yes, I'm a Phoenix Warrior, and the one that says, I don't want to be called a Phoenix Warrior, but I just want to show people that we rise by lifting others. So there you go. Lovely. Very, very proud of that. And those will be available tomorrow. I want to say tomorrow. If I have to hurry up, otherwise we'll be at 20,000, still putting out the 10,000 merch. Yeah. Lovely red, nice designs. Oh, I love that. We rise by lifting others. No singlets may but T-cut logo off, put on my racerback singlets, whatever. You do whatever you like with it. Would love a hoodie. Yeah. Loving the red. Alison says these look great. Yeah. It's just something to market, and it's a limited edition because we're never going to put them out again. Once they're done, once we've done 10 days of selling that merch, it'll be closed down, and then the next bit of merch will be 20,000, and then we'll probably change the color. It won't be red. We decided we'd go with kind of a reddy maroony color to start with, because that's kind of like the Phoenix, isn't it? Anyway, let's go back to what I was doing. Share screen. No. Yes. There we go. Right. Oh. Alexandra Cameron. No one knows how grateful I am for this incredible group of rocket scientists. Oh. Hello. I'm going to give that a big happy love. We are so grateful for all of you. Right, we're going to go straight to Izzy, and then we will move our way. And I want to look at Bonnie's as well if we get time. Quick going down. If anybody, it's going to make me feel sick. Maggie, Indra. Okay, Indra. That's one that maybe we need to look at too. Izzy. Here you go. Right, if I click on that, it should just bring up that one. All right. So can everybody see this? Can everybody read it? Can you read it, Gary?
Yeah, all good.
Okay. All right, Izzy, we're going to go through it. I have been directed to this group from the barefoot group, so I'm looking for some advice on remaining barefoot after DDFT injuries, and rebalancing. This is the post from the other group. Can a DDFT injury be rehabbed with barefoot hooves? Of course. But the people that may be informing you about rehab, Izzy, may not be fully what we might say spammed up with what can be achieved with the horse's natural foot. My 20-year-old Welshie has always been barefoot with solid hooves, and that's an extremely good reason to make sure you don't put shoes on. Minus a 6-month period. Up until the beginning of August, she was in full dressage work and hacking, jumping probably 3 times this whole year. She had a DTF injury in 2018, which was diagnosed with MRI scans, healed with egg bar shoes. Now, this is an interesting one when I read this, egg bars and heel pads. And because she healed, I think you may think that that was the reason that she healed. It wasn't. It was just because she was going to heal anyway. And we slowly transitioned her back to barefoot. How did you slowly transition her? What did you do? Let me know. Did you I don't know. Just tell me how you did it. She became fully sound and back in all full work. She's now presenting the same. The same vet is pretty positive it's the same injury, right? Can't conclusively say without an MRI, but I'm reluctant due to cost and have already spent $2,000 in vet's bills last year. He wants to do remedial shoeing again to bring the toe back. Won't do anything. It'll just make matters worse. And shift the weight onto her heels. You don't, by bringing the toe back, doesn't shift the, there's a mozzie in here, doesn't shift the horse onto their heels. That's actually a comment from somebody who I'm pretty sure isn't understanding what happens with balance, is what how I read that. To minimize the extension of the DDFT. Right. Isn't that interesting? Because so many times now when you have horses with rotation, they go, well, it's the DDFT that's the problem. So let's wedge it up to minimize the extension. And yet what he's saying is shift the weight back onto the heels to minimize the extension. It's all very confusing. And it doesn't need to be. She'll always have these shoes now, apparently, and because of her age, it's unlikely she'll come back into full work. Well, the shoes bit is just nonsense. I'm sorry, but it's nonsense. It's the only way they know how. Hoppa shoe. To note, August 2023, I had to relocate to a new area, so my barefoot trimmer changed. Okay, so that's a year ago. The x-rays were taken yesterday and photos last week of her hooves, which were 2.5 weeks post-trim, which I know, so 2.5 week post-trim for the x-rays, which I know are slightly long. What is? And I have told my Beth trimmer that. What's slightly long? She also has a little bit of thrush that I'm aware of. She does have coffin joint arthritis that has been medicated. Does anyone have experience of horse becoming sound again from specialist barefoot trimming? That there's no such thing. There is no such thing as specialist barefoot trimming. And it's the world that makes you think that. The world, the confusing equine world of hoof care that thinks that there's specialist remedial shoeing and specialist barefoot trimming to do something to a foot to make everything better. To balance a foot, you just have to follow the horse's natural constants. And bring the weight back. Again, you have to follow the horse's natural constants. Or are special shoes that will support the foot correctly the only way? How do special shoes support the foot correctly? The only reason I ask these questions, Izzy, because it's very interesting the terminology that you're using is the terminology that we hear all the time, which makes no real sense. But you're probably repeating what you've been told. I am in no rush for her to come sound. I have concluded at her age, whatever happens, I'm happy with. I've had her for 11 years and she will be with me for the rest of her life. How lovely. I just want her to be comfortable. She has turned out with one other horse in a 2-acre field, rotated summer and winter. Wears muzzle in spring for the sugar due to being a good doer. Sugar. Daytime turnout in winter, nighttime turnout in summer. Has weighed hay. Don't know what type of hay it is. Max 2% of her body weight, so she's not getting too much or too little. Feed is Denji Hi-Fi molasses free Saracen shape up equine America term. Okay. That's a lot to unpack there. That's a lot to unpack. Let me just stop sharing a minute. while we just have a little chat about that. Okay. So, Gary, do you want to say anything? Has Izzy said anything? Let's have a look.
Yes, she said, took the pads off, changed to normal shoes and then to barefoot over a few trims. And then she goes on to say, I noticed a trim ago that her toes looked slightly long. Now, did that look slightly long from above or from below?
And
Because
your
you
physio
can't tell
commented
from
on it.
above. If you're looking from above and when the hoof is on the ground, you cannot tell whether those toes are long unless you actually pick the foot up and have a look underneath.
And the physio, Gary, the physio commented on her hooves when she was physioed at the end of August. What did she say?
Yeah, what did she say? And also,
Did she
our
tell you that they
physios,
were long?
hoof care experts, and this is going to sound very derogatory, and I don't mean it that way, but they don't know, most of them do not know about the natural hoof. It's guessing.
Nobody really knows unless you trim and rehab using the horse's natural parameters and constants.
You don't know.
You don't know. I don't care who you are, you don't know. Above and sides. Okay, so you cannot judge a horse's foot from above ever. You have to pick
in
it
actual
up.
fact, I think people get hung up on the way that the hoof looks and symmetry, when in actual fact, the highlight of getting it right is balance.
Absolutely.
Balance is so important, and everybody seems to forget that. Balance
and you can't
is
tell.
key. Oh, you can't tell.
No.
Everybody stopped looking at pictures and having this preconceived of idea of what is symmetry and what looks nice, and just concentrate on balance. Half of these issues would just melt away.
100%, right? It suspensory image damage. No, sorry, it was a DDFT, wasn't it? DDFT damage. Do you know where it was on the DDFT, where that damage occurred? And was it a complete tear? Was it a portion, just a partial tear, or was it what? Tell us a little bit more about that. Was tight in one of her shoulders, can't remember which, but good elsewhere. Okay. She's recommended keeping a barefoot too. That's excellent. Well done. Good. That's good. One good thing. What is a physio's view on from bodywork perspective? Yeah, that was the tight, was tight in the front. Okay, so let's go back. Let's go back in and have another look at that. I don't know why I got rid of that then, but I shall try not to do that again.
So she can't remember where the damage was, but it was very partial and not a full tear. So that's good.
Okay. So before I look at the x-rays, I want to quickly whiz through the feet. So like we were saying, you can't tell from looking at this, and you certainly can't tell if there's any length to a foot, right?
No.
The things that you can tell from looking at the outside of a horse's foot is, are they being over trimmed at the toe? And this is a little bit, because we've gone right through the outer hoof wall. You can see how this is fading down here, this stripe. And you're going into the inner hoof wall just on this section here, not on the sides, just on that section there. So you can see how the rings are being removed. That's unnecessary. That kind of trimming is not really necessary. You don't have to do that. Okay. And again, you can see that I don't think that's anything. That's just, these aren't cracks, are they? They're just bits of dirt. Again, you can see that this area here is being overly trimmed. Now, it's not the worst I've seen, I have to say. Certainly not. I've seen quite a bit of obviously of bad trimming on the toe. That's not the worst. Do you see how there is no toe contact here? Do you see this? I hope you can see this. There's contact here at the quarters and no contact at the toe. Let's just go back and have a look at that. And you can see it better here. Can you see there's no contact at the toe? Now, granted, the ground isn't totally flat, is it? but really we should have that toe on the ground. So if you're assessing that and looking at that and thinking the toe's long, when the toe isn't even on the ground. So that's an interesting thought, isn't it? And if we go and have a look up here, you can see why. You can see that the hoof wall here is just being removed. Okay. But this is an interesting foot because of what we're going to see in the x-rays. You can see that the quarters are creeping up and they are more proud than the toe. Can you see that? The toe wall disappears and the quarters are higher. This is 2.5 weeks post-trim. So really, I would be expecting to see that 6 weeks down the line on the quarters. And I certainly would be wanting toe wall in play. All right. Then when we go and have a look at the heels, it's not too bad. I'll be honest. I've seen far, far worse. And these heels, I can't see if they're balanced by looking at them from the top. But you can see that they're not actually that far above the hard sole plane. So that's quite encouraging. The bars are long here. So this is not bar. This is not true bar. This is just accreted bar material. You can see this little line here, and it will be the same on the other side. That's where the bars, the true bar ends, and it's slightly folded over. But this part here is not being addressed. So this isn't comfortable for a horse. And you can see on this side, it goes all the way up here. It's not comfortable because it's material that shouldn't be there. That's not getting exfoliated. And it just isn't a comfortable thing for a horse to have. And then on top of that, the frogs are being cut. And that's not good either. And I can see back here that she's lost a little bit of her of the integrity of the frog here at the back, because it's a little deeper than it should be. So these are just the things that are worth noting. That was her left fore, right? And now when we go and have a look at this to check balance, I think your right fore is a better balance photo. But you need to be turning that foot to the point where you can't quite see the top of the heels, and then you look forward. But what we can see is that we can't see hoof wall. It comes around here and then disappears and then starts again. And then you can see now how high that is above the hard sole plane, right? So if we go and have a look at the right front and we look at the toe again, you can see it's not there. It doesn't look like the right front has been rasped as keenly as the left fore. Again, this is the difference that you get, because obviously it's a little bit personal preference, right? You can see it has been rasped, but maybe not quite as much as the other one. But there's no toe wall on the ground here. So this dorsal wall is being shortened unnecessarily, and also you've got pressure points on the sole where it shouldn't be. All right, which is interesting. So almost the same, right? Except the frog is a little different on this one. It's still being carved, which makes them sensitive. So it's best not to do that. These bars are being left what looks like a little bit more. Jump in, Gary, if you see stuff I miss.
Sure.
Again, taking a little bit too much, leaving a bit too much here. So a little bit too much left here, taking a bit too much there. But this is going to be an interesting one when we look at the x-rays, and I'll show you why in a minute. This is better angle for checking balance. It's a better angle for checking balance. And to me, the heels on that picture look reasonably okay, but you can see the bar, you can see the wall, and you can't see the wall at the toe. Now, what have we got here? Because that says 4 foot. Now that's not the one Did you say, Izzy? Did you? Because I asked you for the X-rays before. Where did I put it? I think I put it down here. Blah blah blah. Yes, I do. From 2018, I've added them to the post with the month. Yeah, brilliant, marvelous. Let's go back and have a look. Good. So let's quickly whiz through that. Sorry, everyone. Okay, August 2018 says Easy. Okay. What can we see in August 2018? Well, it doesn't look too bad in there, to be fair. And you have no separation. We look like we might have some toe in play. That's a reasonably fine angle for P3 to be in when it's being loaded. Can't really tell much more from that. These areas here are looking a little bit interesting because we're starting to get an undefined edge to that part there on P2. This is where the ligaments attach. This is partly why you see it in this position or in this shape, and some horses have it a little bit more than others, but it's something to look at in a minute. And also up here, this is just something to look at. It may or may not mean anything on that X-ray at this moment in time, but it's something to look at. Okay, so that's the right front. Now we're on the left. Okay, so let's check this out again. Now, can you see how undefined that looks? It doesn't look like it's a smooth edge. You see this side? It's smooth. This side isn't. Do you see that? It's starting to look a little bit misshapen. And up here too. Do you see there? And P3 looks like it's in a pretty okay position. It does look like there may be a tiny little bit of loss there, but it's not much that we would be that worried about. Again, this looks a little undefined under here. Looks like there's a little bit of palmar processes that are a little bit of side bone there. Again, this is my concern here. This is what I would be concerned with, because what we're starting to get here are arthritic changes. Right, so that's in 2018. Okay. Now, when we look at the left 4, and it's not straight on the block there, but we've got some mediolateral imbalances. Yeah, let's get in and have a look. These joint spaces aren't too bad. And down here, it doesn't look too bad. We've got that central extensor process. Can't really see much going on in navicular just there. But we do have a little bit of side bone. And that's the lateral cartilage that you can see there and there. And this is indicating that what you're seeing is correct, which is it isn't balanced properly. The foot is suffering from imbalances. Now, no two trimmers, no two farriers, no two vets' ideas are the same, because they all trim to personal preference. Unless you have somebody who is trimming to the hard sole plane, then you're always going to have their version of what they think the foot should be. And that's a problem. So that's the left. So we know that with the left, we had some arthritic changes. This is the right, and we have a little bit of an imbalance there too, and you can see a little bit of the side bone beginning here. So we have some imbalances. All right, so that was then. So now we go back to today, or at least was it yesterday or today when you had yesterday that you had the x-rays done? September 2023. Oh, because we've got great, brilliant. September 2023, left 4. All right. Can you see this? This is progressed. so has this. We've got progression, and this is ring bone. So this is arthritis, and you've got both high ring bone there, which is in the pastern joint, and you've got ring bone heading south here on P2, which is known as low ring bone, which is towards the coffin joint. Again, that's often comes hand in hand with imbalances. Okay. So this is going to cause some discomfort. Obviously, you can't see much of any soft tissues. This X-ray we've got, it's picking up a little bit of the hair, and it's picking up a shadow of the DDFT, but other than that, it's not really, you can't really see anything else. And we've got no separation. We've had no change by the looks of it to the tip of P3, and that is good. And we've got P3 in pretty much the same position as it was. So the dorso-palmar balance appears to be not too bad, but the mediolateral side to side wasn't so great. Okay. And again, we're starting to see that a little bit more now. And now look at this. See this distance here and this distance here on the pastern joint, and again on the coffin joint, and we've got a shift of where the center of the extensor process is. It's slightly different on all horses. It's slightly different, but we're starting to see some interesting changes here. Can you see these sort of like wispy parts to the bone here and over here, where we're starting to get more bony changes within the foot? So we have some imbalance. That was September. And then we've got the right foot, which is going the other way, but doesn't quite have the same issues. But this is wider here, narrower here. It's a little bit better on the right foot. September 2023 on the right foot, we've got a lot of ring bone there. That's progressed quite a lot in that time. Again, P3, no separation. P3 in quite a good position dorso-palmarly. And now we go to October with the left. Oh, come on, blow up. With the left. That's as high. That's as. No, I think I'll probably get out that. We're not going to see it any better than that. But you can see, can't you, how that has progressed. And in this picture, it looks slightly negative, P3. So P3's changed. She is loading, but it shouldn't be that. We're almost at the tip of P3 is almost a little higher up than the palmar processes. So I wouldn't say that was NPA without sticking a line on it. It's hard to tell and with just your eyes, but you're heading towards that. The P3 isn't broken back. So this is probably just that she's loading, but we have got almost, well, we've got ground parallel, if not a little bit of NPA, which is interesting because they're taking the toe away on the wall, but you have material under there, and you have which is a little bit in excess, and then you have the heels probably, from what it looked like to me, in an okay position, because they didn't look too bad. You can't really see anything else from that other than the fact that you have got the ring bone has progressed, right? You can't see soft tissues. Only an MRI or a ultrasound is going to be able to see better. You can see that we've still got a little bit of mediolateral imbalance going on. That's about as much as we can see. And that right foot, you can see that really has also progressed. And now, when the front feet were actually quite similar, they're quite different now. So this one is Still a little bit more like it was in 2023, but the left 4 has changed a little bit. Again, we haven't got much in the way of separation, but we are very, we are quite ground parallel again, and the heels on one side look on the right 4 look slightly different to the left 4. But my concern would be from these x-rays is the progression of the arthritis, which will cause lameness. It will cause lameness, especially as it flares. If you get a flare up and you get any excessive systemic inflammation, i.e. from diet and management, or from diet being incorrect, flushes in the grass, causing inflammation throughout the entire body, that's going to aggravate this here. But this is progressing, and I would say that I mean, we don't know because we haven't had an MRI done on the DDFT, but this needs to be kept an eye on because it's progressing, and it's you've got both high and low. It's heading down here on the coffin joint, but it's also heading up here around the pastern joint. And there we've got an imbalance, although I don't think that is straight at the bottom anyway, but you can see there's an imbalance there. Okay. That's about as much as we can see from those x-rays. Let me just come back to StreamYard and remove that. Were they all like you, Gary? Everybody was like that?
Oh, I expect so. I expect
Staring
so.
at the screen.
Staring at the screen and going through my vocals, getting a bit closer.
So, but I'll go through what you've said in a moment, Izzy, but ultimately nothing, and I mean no device that you can nail onto the bottom of a horse's foot or glue onto the bottom of a horse's foot can be any better than the horse's own natural balance. It can't. And what's more, you have to you're at the mercy of the person because they're not all the same. It's a very much personal preference. So my advice would be to have your horse trimmed correctly to her natural parameters. Let her toe grow. Even though you think she's got a long toe, she hasn't. You need to let her, you need to let her toe get to the ground. That's very, very important. It's exceptionally important. So that toe needs to get to the ground.
The importance of the pillars of support, and this could go on for hours, but the pillars of support are so crucial for balance. Now, those pillars of support are a point at the toe and the 2 points at the heel. Now, from what we can see, the 2 points of the heel, really good, but there's nothing at the toe. So what ends up happening is that balance is shifted off because the toe has got nothing touching the ground. It shifts it back to those points at the toe quarters, which changes. So there is no balance. It changes. It does this all of the time as it's growing. Those quarters that you saw that were active are actually meant to be passive. They're supposed to be, each foot is on a tripod, so to speak. The 2 points at the heel and a point at the toe. When you take the toe away, you remove one of those tripods and then they move depending on how the horse is wearing. So there's no constant. So the balance is constantly changing.
And that balance and changing of balance from mediolateral, and it will, I mean, we can only take an x-ray at one moment in time, right?
Yes.
Feet don't behave like that. The x-ray that you have now, and if you put all those x-rays next to each other, and I haven't had time to do that, but we could have done, if you'd have put the x-rays next to each other, you'll notice the hoof capsule changes. So it's only one moment in time. Like if you took that x-ray in 3 weeks' time and did nothing to the foot, it wouldn't look the same, exactly the same, because the hoof capsule changes. And it gives us a good idea what's happening to the bone, so we can see what's happening to, if there's any arthritis, we can see if there's any ring bone, we can see if there's any side bone, we can see if there's any osteonecrosis. We can also see if P3, if the heels are really high and P3 has been rotated, and you can see separation. And that's about it on a lateromedial radiograph. You know, you can't obviously see the soft tissues, but because that ring bone, that arthritis has been developing since 2018, and prior to that, and the hoof balance has not been spot on because nobody's been trimming to her natural parameters. I'm not surprised that there have been problems with the DDFT. I'm not surprised that there are soft tissue issues, because you're going to get them when a foot is compromised like that. And the ring bone is being exacerbated, the inflammation, because with that brings inflammation, is being exacerbated by the diet. So nothing, as in no heart bar shoe nailed onto that, or no special remedial trimming, it doesn't exist, is ever going to make that better. The thing that's going to make, nothing's going to make the ring bone reverse, but what your aim is to slow it down, and to also make sure that the systemic, the inflammation from the diet doesn't make that part worse, and to get her feet as balanced as possible. You start putting heart bar shoes on and you start allowing those heels to come up and they start whopping off the toe, you're going to make everything worse in there. It's got worse. It's progressed. So that would be more of my concern.
I also think as well that the way most people make the mistake of going down the remedial shoe route, because once the shoe is on, the horse looks sounder. It isn't. We call it pseudo sound. If your horse isn't sound out of shoes, it ain't going to be sound in shoes. And all you're doing is changing the way that horse wants to move, and just to give that appearance of soundness. It's not that simple. Shoes cause damage. An imbalance cause damage.
And she's had imbalances. And you know something, some horses can put up with rather a lot of imbalance and not have a tremendous amount going on, and others can't. And I suspect that the reason that she's not been able to cope with the imbalance, and others of similar age, probably similar size to her, would be the amount of work that you've done with her. So the amount of jumping, the amount of work that you've done on those imbalanced feet have just exacerbated the issue, plus the diet. So my advice would be get the diet out, get the diet sorted. You're playing a bit of Russian roulette with the muzzle, with in at night, in the day, out in the day, spring, summer, all of that. If you can, stick up a track, feed her hay, good hay, know what's in your hay, because I know you said you don't know what's in your hay. You need to know. It's important. You don't want to be stuffing her full of ryegrass in fresh ryegrass, which is likely if she's in a paddock, and ryegrass that's in hay, because she never can escape it. So she's always got that underlying inflammatory issue going on in her entire body, which you've admitted, because you said that she can, you intimated that she could actually get bigger. So that needs to be sorted, and that's your thing. You really need to sort that out. And secondly, you need to have somebody who's trimming to her natural parameters. And if you can't find somebody, you need to do it yourself. And those aren't difficult trims on your mare. There's no special hocus pocus, magical, remedial, special trimming that's ever going to help. She just needs the natural, her foot balanced correctly. And you're never going to stop the ring. You're not going to stop the ring bone progressing, but you might have an opportunity of slowing it down. Let's get in here and have a look what she says.
There was one thing that that you said in the post as well, that that you're weighing your hay, but for half of the day she's out on grass. Do you weigh your grass? There's not enough consistency there, and the grass being short, and it's much less fibre. I'm assuming that she's not allowed hay in the field, which means that there is going to be at least 12 hours where she's getting lots of sugar and 12 hours where she's getting lots of fibre. That imbalances into the gut. So everything she's fighting against, her gut is fighting against lots of things going on, because all she wants and needs is that fibre. So anything you can do to reduce the grass, increase the hay, and reduce the confinement. Because confinement, if we had an arthritic person, what is the first thing that they would turn around to say? Keep on moving gently. Stuck in a box for 12 hours a day, ain't moving gently.
And Izzy, you're probably going, oh, great, I can't do any of those things.
Oh my God, how am I going to do this? I know it's not easy. I know it's not easy.
But what you mustn't do is believe that the rhetoric that a heart bar shoe or any remedial shoeing is going to fix problems. It doesn't. It doesn't. The person doing the shoeing or the trimming, if they're not following the horse's natural constants, you are not following what the horse is showing you. And they show you a lot when they have issues in their feet, particularly. She's like, I need to balance my feet in this particular way. Please respect that. And unfortunately, we don't. Right. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. What's Julie Bradbury say? I spent many hours in clinics with a well-known and respected physio last year. She noted that virtually every set of hooves were too long in the toe. She didn't lift a single hoof. There's a problem.
There is a problem. And they don't look at balance either. If you haven't got balance for that individual foot on each individual horse, so 4 lots of balance, how can you have balance in the body? If you haven't got balance from the ground, how is anything further up going to be right?
I tell you something, guys, everybody watching this, and Izzy, balance isn't easy to get.
No,
you think you've got it. We were at the workshop this weekend in Scotland, and it's the biggest thing we go on about: balance. And you think you've got it. You've got a hoof, and you balance it up, and you're like, look, Lindsay, Gary, everybody else, look, heels, yay! And you're like, oh, just a little bit over there. I knew I had something on that toe quarter, and I'm like, well, if you knew it was there, take it down. And toe quarters put feet out of balance. They're putting their foot down, and even the smallest thing, right? For instance, and just to tell you this as well with the shoes, you think that shoes are remedial. Shoes are in no way following the horse's natural shape of the foot. The arches should be passive. The heels and the toe pillar should be active always, and the arch is passive. Of course, they'll get worn over different surfaces and over paddocks, etc. But they need to be passive. And when you shoe, they aren't. They are as active as everything else. That doesn't help with balance. And then to make it worse, it's a big fad nowadays to leave nails proud. I don't know any owner who is even cognizant of that, who even picks up a shoe. They did my horse is shod, yay, and they don't ever pick it up and run their fingers over it and go, holy hell, the nails are all sticking out. Whereas the farrier's left it out to make it all last a little bit longer and to give the horse a bit of grip, but he hasn't left the nails on either side of that, even that one foot, the same. He'll have more on one side than the other. One will be more sticking out than the other, and that's on one foot. You then go over to the other foot, and it's different again. And they're right where the horse needs to have passive wear, and you're making it active. All of these add to our issues in our foot and issues in the foot. And people who say, oh, you know, barefoot horses don't have or my barefoot horse has got a problem, but it's been barefoot. So what happened? It's balance. Doesn't matter whether they're barefoot or shod. Shoeing just adds to the problem even more. But you can have really imbalanced barefoot hooves, and we see it all the time, mainly because of toe chopping, and you're unable to find that balance point. Maggie says, Lindsay, please can you make your marker bigger and a different color? What color was it? Is it purple?
It's purpley pink.
You can pick a Maggie.
But we can't make it bigger, Maggie. We've tried. It's just the size that it is on StreamYard, I'm afraid. We can change the colour, but we can't change the size, unfortunately.
Marianne says that would help me too. I know. I can't help it. Becky, hello from Julie Parkinson and me. Finally found how to comment. Yay! Izzy says I did add extras at the end. I saw that. Yeah. Found the comments. Yay, me too. Finally here. Hi from Northern Ireland. Hello, Aaron. Good to see you. These ones are last year. She was given steroids and Arthromed to 2nd September 2024 into the coffin joints for the Arthromed. So the steroids, right, are trying to reduce the inflammation, but you're still adding to the inflammation systemically. It's not going to reduce. It's not going to reduce that, and that's not going to affect balance either. So it's only going to help it will help, I would think, for a period of time. But when other things are also causing issues, that's not going to help too. For the Arthromed, I know what you meant. Arthritis. JJ Julio, remember to like the stream, everyone. 70 watching, but only 13 likes. Let's feed the algorithm. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Julio. Everybody like it, and subscribe while you're here. Subscribe down below and hit the notification bell, and then you'll be notified when we go live. That's what people say. I've seen them say it. Melanie says, how much would one feed a horse on a track? I feed squares, and my husband thinks I give too much because there is a lot of waste. Is there a specific amount? No, you have to kind of get into a rhythm with your horses. By that, I mean, it takes a bit of time, and when they're settling into a track, and you need to put the hay in different areas so they go foraging for it, they are going to waste some. It happens. Some people use a lot of nets to try and avoid that. We try and encourage people to do a mixture. If you're going to use nets, try and do some loose hay as well. You are going to get waste. There's no doubt about that. If you're getting lots of waste, then maybe you need to, because sometimes what people do is you get waste and you leave it. Oh, well, they've not eaten it. Well, they're not going to eat it now. They've pooed in it. They've gone, nah, no. So it's a kind of getting into a bit of a rhythm and knowing what they eat. So our horses, when we go out and we fill up their buckets every day, we've got big blue barrels, the big blue barrels that you get cleaning fluids and stuff in. You cut those in half, they're really sturdy and brilliant for putting hay in, and the horses can't knock them about too much, and they do get shifted around, which is quite fun, but not too much. And if we overfill those, they won't eat it all. So we've got into a rhythm. We know how much they eat. It increases a little bit in the winter, but they also have big bales out. We get waste. You do get some waste. There's never going to be time when you don't. But getting waste is not a reason to restrict. There should always be a bit of fresh hay left when you come out to do the next serving of hay. Always. Don't restrict. It's not good. It's not good for the guts, because you're restricting an animal that needs to eat when they need to eat, not when we determine when they need to eat. So weighing, nets, don't do it. Feed your horse as much hay, the right hay, mixed meadow, or mixed pasture. If you're in the States or in other parts of the world and you've got teff, you've got Bermuda, you've got Rhodes, maybe you've got Timothy, orchard grass. These are the common grasses. Rye, forget it. Clover, forget it. Don't feed cereal straws either, or cereal hays. So of those others that I mentioned, get as many as you can and mix them together. If you can't get a mixed hay, that is what we would suggest, because they can't be fed a monoculture. They need to be, or a mono one grass. They can't be fed just a single species. They need to be fed a variety. If we're going to want variety in our diet for our microbes in our gut, they need to be fed a variety. I don't think there's no tracks near me in West Yorks. Oh, you're in West Yorks. Okay. So
you don't necessarily need a track livery. You just need a sympathetic yard.
You do.
You need a sympathetic yard, and you can do it yourself. The basics of a track system is somewhere where you've got a track that's in its basic form, a track around the outside of a field, and you're restricting the grass and putting hay out in different locations on that track. You didn't say whether you had another horse. Obviously, it's really important for horses to have company for their mental health as well. So they should never be on their own. But yes, if you've got a sympathetic yard, you can do it yourself. You don't need an expensive track livery.
But I think, I mean, that's something that you can work on, right? You know where you're going towards. You can work on that. But the one thing I can say to you is please, please, please don't be hoodwinked by these ideas that a metal shoe put on by somebody who does it his way or her way, maybe they leave the nails proud, maybe they don't, making the foot, forgetting about active and passive wear patterns, isn't going to fix stuff. It isn't. And it's shocking to me that is it. You can go and have MRI scans. You can go and have any kind of scan, nuclear scintigraphy. You can have all these things and pay a fortune for it. Ultrasound, you name it, it happens. You can do all sorts of diagnostics, all kinds of X-rays, and you might as well forget it. All of those things, because the treatment is always the same, which is ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
You know, at the end of the day, what's it going to be? It's going to be steroids, painkillers, and heart bar shoes. What the hell? I've just spent I didn't even need to go down this route. I mean, I could have just bypassed all of that, and we could have just nipped to the heart bar shoes, steroids, and painkillers, right? I could have done, or Osvos or Children. I tend to use more Osvos nowadays, but for navicular, you know, it's that kind of thing. And then we're like, oh well, we could use rocker shoes, we could use various technology. We've got all this incredible technology to look inside the foot to find problems, and outside the foot, the technology is hopeless. It's shocking and embarrassing. And what are we trying to do? Get balance. At the end of the day, we need a foot to be balanced. Well, I tell you what, the only thing, the only living thing on the earth that can balance that foot better than anybody else is a bloody horse.
It is.
You just got to know how to follow that balance and understand it. Okay, right. Blah blah blah. Thank you so much. This has been so helpful. I'm glad. And if that's her in the post, she's lovely. Becky says, I think I know who you're talking about, Julie. She said the same about my pony, but didn't look from underneath. No. Bonnie says, sorry I'm late. Just finishing trimming my second cadaver foot. Well done, Bonnie.
Well done.
Tallulah says, what are the best ways for owners to assess how well balanced the trim is? Learn about the trim. Yeah. We have foundation courses which teach you the foundation of diet and management and the foundation of the trim. It's not going to teach you to fix Coke can feet or, the chopped off toe, but it's going to teach you the foundation of the trim and to understand how you read balance. And that's all I can say is maybe go on those courses and find out. If you join the Phoenix group, if you've come to this YouTube live and you haven't seen you're not a member of the Phoenix group on Facebook, get in there and join the Phoenix Way Path to Hoof Health, and there'll be lots of information in there. And then also get yourself on the challenges if you can. That's we've created them to teach owners exactly that, to understand that. My YouTube username is JJ Julio, but you all know me as Jade French. Forgot to clarify about Jade. Brilliant. Do what Jade says. Everybody like and everybody subscribe. That will make the algorithm chuck it out there. Vivian says, hi, Jade. Hello, my friend, says Julio. Sit there. We're only going to call you Julio. Asta says, maybe your marker will be bigger on YouTube, Lindsay, if you could change on the live stream. Don't know. Silver Lining Stables. After learning so much from you and starting to trim my own, I'm realizing that they were being trimmed in a way that had no toe pillar and so much excess bar. It's crazy, Laurie. It is crazy. And when you see it,
you can't unsee it.
at the workshop, at the weekend, we have owners who have never touched a foot in their lives doing incredible trims, going and picking up any foot and going, we go, what do you need to be done? The bars. Oh my God, the bars. There's so much bar material. The heels, the balance. Yeah, it's an obsession.
And also, that's a good representation of the hoof care out there. Okay, the cadaver legs that we take, obviously, they're not on a live horse anymore. But to that workshop, we took 70 legs.
We did.
And all of them had issues.
We did. Now, I'm going to show you a picture now. I'm going to show you a picture. Look away if you don't like gore. It's going to be the inside of the foot. So look away if you don't like it. But I'm going to show you a picture. We rushed away at the end of the Scott. We're just so desperate to tidy up that we didn't get some exact photos, but better photos rather. But I'm going to show you this and because I want to talk to you about it. Why taking off the toe is not a good idea. Let me have a look. Okay. Can you see this? Can you see it? All right. So what we're looking at specifically here is, sorry about it's a bit gory. It's not really. We've just taken one little foot and we've cut it in half. But prior to cutting it in half, it is the same foot, guys. Prior to cutting it in half, we dumped the toe on, and it looks like we've gone too far, but honestly, we haven't. We've just done a standard dump that happens very, very happens all the time. Thickness of the hoof wall comes down to here and then dives, right? We dumped the toe on that one and we left the heel alone. And on this one, we brought the heel back to the horse's natural constant, the hard sole plane, and we left the toe in play. Look at the difference. That is the same foot cut in half. This up here, by the way, is the DDFT. Look how big it is. And that slides down underneath here, which is the navicular bone, and this is the navicular bursa. This is P3. This is the pedal bone cut in half, and that's the bottom of P2, which is sitting in the capsule. 2.5 bones in the horse's foot, 26 in the human foot. Because this isn't really a foot, it's a digit that the horse is walking on. Anyway, I digress. Digital cushion. Can you see the difference in the surface area for one? Look at the difference in the surface area. Can you see how long this is? And this is how the horse wants their foot to be. Look at this one. It's wobbling around what we refer to as increasing the wobble effect further up by having a foot that looks like this. And look under here. look under here where the toe is basically not on the ground anymore. Now this frog, because it was a little bit high, this would get worn down. And so what would be on the ground would be this part of the sole here, right underneath P3. And that is the reality, my friends, of many horses. And many horses are trimmed like this and shod like this, where heels are left, and it wasn't a huge amount of heel. I don't know if I've got the picture of it. No, I don't think I have. I'd have to go back and find that. But it wasn't an awful lot of heel. But yeah, that's startling, isn't it? 1 foot and the change you can make on 1/2. We teach our students to trim 1/2 a foot so that they can appreciate how just by doing that, how you can make a massive difference. I'm just trying to see if I can find, oh, such a nice picture of Aaron and Claire I just passed. What am I looking at? Down here. Missed it. I'm trying to find a picture, Gary. So many pictures. Blimey. It's been a while. Right, here we go. Let's see if I can find this one. Claire, lovely Claire, took lots of photos. Not that one though. I can't find it. I'm not prepared. I can't find it. No, whizzing through it. Just listening to me going, that's it. That's not it. That's it. It must bore the pants off you. Right. Hold on. Okay. This might show us something else. Let's show you this. Okay. Can you see this? This is Claire Wood. She's watching. So this is the same image, and then that's the little foot, the one where we've taken the toe off. That's it again. Oh, now there's me looking very serious. Got a very serious face on there. I'm going to blow this. It looks all red and bloody because the actual foot was really bloody. But, we haven't taken this back excessively. It just looks like it is, because it isn't. But sorry, it isn't. It's not sharp. I do apologize. But can you just see where we've left hoof wall in the ground there, and we've brought it all the way back to the hard sole plane, which you can see. And on this side, we didn't trim the heel back. We left the heel, and it wasn't excessive, but there's quarter in play, and there's too much bar. Can you see the difference? That's 1 foot. Look at the change in surface area. This makes a vast difference to the horse. It is a problem, and we see it everywhere. People are afraid to bring the heels back to where they need to be, and because the horse might have a weak and infected atrophied frog, for instance, so they're worried about that. But you mustn't. You've got to engage the back of the foot. You've got to bring this heel back, because it is the foot the horse needs. And we do this to horses all the time. I'm sorry about my voice. It's a bit croaky after the weekend. I'm just heading out after this to trim my cadaver bonnie. It's the reason they're doing that, folks, is because they're in their final week of a module, and they're rushing to get their exams done. Guys, I can't recommend you doing the challenges. Your minds will be blown away. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you so much. Where do we buy the merch, please? I'm going to put the link up in the group, in the Phoenix group, Jeanette. So you'll find it in there.
Hopefully tomorrow. Those
trim comparisons are just so graphic, aren't they? They really are. I have such a difficult time looking at other horses' hooves and seeing all the ushers and want to fix them all. I know, right? I know.
Yeah, it's hard.
It really is. Amazing difference, says Marianne Caffrey. Alison, the one right looks like an inanimate lump of wood. It looks awful, doesn't it? It's horrid. Lisa says, off to trim some horses. Great 100th. I'll have to catch the rest later. Well, we're coming to an end now. Thank you, Lisa. Michelle says, the challenges open my eyes and mind so much. We didn't get a chance to do Bonnie, and I know I wanted to look at Bonnie's as well, but we've been on an hour and 15, so we're going to have to come to an end now. But maybe we'll try and have a look at that. There are so many. I am so grateful. Gary and I are so grateful to all of you guys, actually, especially everybody that's gone through the challenges or have been on a workshop, or our pros and the admins who are able to hold the fort for us when we're away and are not able to come in and answer questions all the time, because a lot of the stuff that a lot of the posts that are coming in can be answered by go and look at this video, go and check that video. Do try and go and check the videos that the guys put up there for you to look at. It's so important. And honestly, we couldn't do it without you all. As this group grows and it's going past 10,000, as it grows, we need you, and we need you to help others. So even if you think you haven't got a ton of knowledge, you've got more than an awful lot of people coming into the group. So thank you so much for looking after us and for keeping the group as wonderful as it is and so safe and so lovely. And it looks like the YouTube worked. So we're going to see if we can carry on doing that.
We'll keep it like that for now.
Yeah.
I forgot I did that.
All right, my lovelies. Have a lovely evening, afternoon, morning, wherever you are in the world. And we'll see you again very, very soon. Not quite sure whether we're going to be able to do one tomorrow night because we have got a feedback session, but we'll see. We might do a bit of halfy. We'll see what we can do. All right, my lovelies. Take care now. Lovely seeing you. Bye.
Take care. See you soon.